Hello, YouTube and VidMe. I know my hair makes you look like a faggot right now, and I'm probably gonna shave the beard soon too. Look fucking ridiculous, I know. I just looked in the mirror this morning. But, anyways, I'm gonna be talking about this article, which I hope I still, yeah, good, I still have it on here. And it made me lose my shit, quite honestly. Because I'm a millennial, right? And I don't want these other fucking nut jobs going, here's what millennials want to tell you Gen Xers about political correctness. It's like, no. I don't believe in political correctness. I think it's a terrible idea. So don't speak for all millennials, you cocksucking weasels. Anyways, this is the article. Which site is this on? Inc.com. Just whatever. 5 things millennials want everyone to know about political correctness that older generations don't understand. This is their way of saying, look, we want to morally grandstand, and you need to hear us because we're cunts. So here we go. Number one, there's a major difference between being honest and spewing prejudice. This whole point, you can read the article, leave a link in the description. This whole point is that some people get offended by things, and it's completely subjective, and it's morally wrong to offend someone, yet there's no way to know what someone is morally offended by because it's subjective. Let me explain. So in this, it says you have the right to share your opinion, but you don't have the right to make people feel threatened. How people feel is subjective. I can't control that. There's no way to know. How do you know you're offending them? How do you know you're threatening them? Unless they tell you. And then when they do tell you, what's the response? You apologize. But this fucking article doesn't address that. It just goes, you should just know. Because everyone's a fucking mind reader. Using emotionally charged words. Hold on. What counts as an emotionally charged word? It isn't described. That make others feel frightened for their mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Hold on. Physical I can get. But mental and emotional? I'm not them. I understand that telling someone I'm gonna fucking murder them might make them feel a little fucking threatened, but the majority of these mental and emotional things, there's no way to understand them. There's no way to know. Whatever. Where was it at? Even if it does not impact you in the same way is morally wrong. If it does not impact you in the same way, you can't possibly know, because at that point it makes it subjective. You fucking idiots. Prejudice means processing strong unfavorable opinions about a person based on their demographics and cultural affiliations. Hold the phone. There are a bunch of cultures out there that cannibalize each other. There are other cultures that beat their wives. There are other cultures that chuck gays off buildings. And some cultures just rape younger men. I'm trying to understand. So I'm supposed to just be okay with that, even though I have a moral opposition to that, even though my law does not allow that to happen. I'm supposed to just be okay with that. No. This whole point is fucking retarded. Number two, I'm not even going to address the rest. It's just gone. It's offensive and it's morally wrong. Political correctness is not about censorship. It's about showing respect. If you are trying to put into legislation to force people to talk a certain way, to act a certain way, that is censorship. Do not get this twisted. That is a form of censorship. Now you could say this is censorship also. It is this thing, fine. But don't get it twisted. If you're trying to stop people from saying something, you are censoring them. Even if you don't like to hear it. Alright? Censorship is a coercive attempt to hide something from people. Even by their own definition, they're censoring people. They're trying to coax people into censoring themselves. This is political correctness. This is censorship, you idiots. By their own definition. Asking people to use more inclusive language is not silencing their voice. If you're asking me, then fine. But don't guilt me into doing it. If I say no, I'm still going to fucking do things the way I want to do them. And you can't do a damn thing about it. That's what freedom is. If you don't like it, fine. Don't be my friend. I don't care. I don't want you in my circle of friends if you get so offended over minor things. Because you're weak. I'm serious. You're fucking weak and pathetic. I don't want you in my life. And that's what everyone should think, by the way. It's unbelievable how people, yeah, I'll just have this fucking pathetic loser hang around me who gets offended by every two things. Unbelievable. Millennials feel more connected to global citizenship and human rights than nationalism. I'm not a global citizen. I'm a national citizen. I'm a Canadian. So, don't care. Again, I'm complete opposite of what these millennials think. I'm still a millennial. I'm still born in that era. But this makes me look bad because I'm not pushing that on people. I'm the opposite. My whole family thinks the opposite of this. And we get angry at this sort of thing. I'm not even going to address it. It just talks about we think about everybody's religious and LGBTQA alphabet rights and just I don't care. Can I just not care? Don't I have the freedom of not giving a fuck? You know what I mean? Like people don't give a fuck about me. That's okay, right? So I don't have to give a fuck about them. This is unbelievable. Next point. Inclusive language creates space for meaningful conversations to take place. Offensive language makes people unsafe. What if I don't want to include them? What if I just don't like them because they keep pestering me about fucking other men or eating out women? And I just don't care about their sexual preferences. And I'd rather have a conversation that doesn't involve genitalia or race. What about that? Is that okay? Because if what you're saying is true, then I should just stop talking to gays altogether. Or blacks altogether because I'll have to talk about race and fucking their sexual orientation. And I don't want to do that because it's really awkward and annoying and pointless and only seeks to create more divide. So, no thank you. Next point. Millennials are not being sensitive. They're being morally minded and ethically informed global citizens. You guys sound like a hive mind. Honestly. You sound like you're so entrenched in this ideology that you can't get out of it. They're global citizens. They're morally minded. Ethics. No. Morals are subjective. Ethics have a code. If they don't have a code, they're not ethical. Alright? Let me explain this to you. Doctors have an ethics policy. Police have an ethics policy. Senators have an ethics policy. Teachers have an ethics policy. Even I have an ethics policy that's based on my moral precepts. Okay? These are codes that we follow, but you don't have to follow them. And if you're a cop and you don't follow the ethics policies stated by the Police Act, you might get suspended or fired. Any workplace has an ethics policy, and if you don't follow it, you don't follow those rules, there are repercussions. So, if you're saying that you have an ethical code, let me specify here, ethically informed global citizens, there must be some sort of ethical code for these global citizens. What is that ethical code? Is it political correctness? Is that ethical to you? Because if so, I don't follow it. I don't follow your ethical code. I don't have to. There are no repercussions for me to not do so. I don't follow your dogma. This is what it is. It's dogma. And I don't follow it. If you don't follow the code, you don't follow the ideology, you don't work for them, you don't have to follow the ethical code. Alright? People just they don't understand what the fuck they're talking about. It is what really kills me. It really fucking kills me. It's morally right to do so. Oh yeah, well morals are subjective and my morals are different from yours, so go fuck yourself. What's their answer to that? Nothing. They go, well, it's still morally wrong. It's like, well, it's morally wrong to you. To you. Not to me. Anyways, guys. I'm not even going to fucking edit on this video, but just a little rant. I'm going to upload it. Put a title on it. It's already 10 minutes. I'm just going to shove it out there. Just going to shove it out there so you can listen to it. Or watch it. Or do whatever you want to do with it. You could, if you want to look into the article, I'll leave it in the description. You know what to do. You sub up. You like the fucking video and you comment because I love suggestions. You have a good day.